today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we're going to do another installment of Welcome to the Channel, and the Beard's going to tell you what we are welcoming.
Yeah, today we are welcoming Mission Engineering. I think pretty well known for the expression pedals and things like that that they make. Through the Leslie series, through the Tremolo series, we've been using expression pedals a lot. I'm not going to, you can go back and see which one maybe we've used. There's one or two that we've used.
And they were all ones that we had before the show. We didn't buy them for the show. We didn't get them from somebody. We just had them.
And it was not, they weren't necessarily our favorite.
Yeah.
So, Mission sent us their EP-1 in this beautiful red. Mm-hmm. It looks great. And you can tell, like I was saying to Pat earlier, there's things that when you open the box and you pull them out and you hold them in your hand, you go, oh, that's quality. They just feel, I mean, you know what I mean? They just feel like robust or whatever.
It's like closing the door of a Cadillac. It's got a nice thud to it. Like you pick that up, you're like, okay, got you.
And this definitely has that. So first thing that we're adding to the show, you probably will be seeing a good bit of this.
Yeah. Can't miss it. It's red.
Yes, it'll be easy to spot showing up on the show. And then before we get into the other thing that we're kind of adding, so this is kind of a two-part thing, like welcome to the channel. And then the other question is, why don't you have this on your pedal board? So I'll ask you, do you have pedals on your board that take more than one pedal on your board that takes an expression pedal?
Yes.
Okay. So how many expression pedals do you have on your board?
That rhymes with 0.
And why not?
Partly because which one would I put it in, for one, which one I get more bang on the buck, but more that I would have multiple expression pedals, and then I would have a pedal board of expression pedals.
And, you know, not that I've actually seen pictures of it, you know, not that having 5 of these lined up over on the side wouldn't be pretty cool, but like the practicality of moving it around and stuff like that might be a little harder. So I'm in the same boat. I think there's at least 3 or 4 pedals on my pedal board. Take an expression pedal. I have an expression pedal that controls one pedal. I do not have a dedicated volume pedal. You do have a dedicated volume pedal. So what if my one expression pedal could remain my dedicated volume pedal and control a couple other things? What if you could control multiple things? And that's where we get into the Expressionator. And so the Expressionator can control 3 different pedals with one expression pedal. And so I'm going to ask the question, like, why don't we see these on more boards? You know, like, I mean, pedal manufacturers are sticking expression pedals like in everything now. You think everybody would have like a ton of expression pedals. I think this is a really handy idea. Look how small it is. And I got to tell you, in the pictures, like on the website, I thought it was bigger.
I expected it to be bigger as well.
And then you get it in, and it's about the size or smaller than a normal pedal. Like you just happen to have, look, smaller than a Dispatch Master.
And the profile is much shorter.
Yeah, so it's thin. So it doesn't take up a lot of space, and we can control. So let's talk about this. I'm actually going to put the red Mission on the floor, because if you look at the Expressionator and the little lights on it, as I move this, those lights change. So you can tell my heel to toe position, even though you won't be able to see that. And I didn't want to do that because I wanted to leave that up where everybody could see it. It's nice and all its shining redness, but
I intentionally did not wear flip-flops tonight because I thought my foot was going to be in the shot. Now you're telling me I could have worn whatever footwear I wanted to.
I saw you carried a black bag.
I did.
And I thought maybe you were going to put that on as a booty. Go back and check out one of the Morley videos. Pat has a music stand
bag. Music stand bag as foot attire, because I didn't wear appropriate footwear for foot shots.
That was great. All right, so we're going to go, I don't know if we're going to be doing, I'm not sure what the edit on this looks like, if you'll see more of a board shot and not see us, or, you know, what we're going to see. But on the board, we have a Barber Electronics direct drive.
As per usual.
Yes. Then a Vertex Boost. Then we pulled out 2 of Swindler Effects pedals. We have the Gulf Chorus and the Red Mountain Tremolo. And so the Boost, the Chorus, and the Tremolo all are hooked to the Expressionator. Now you go,
well, and they're all hooked to all this through the magic of rattlesnake cables.
Yes, with our rattlesnake cables here too. We've been loving those guys. So you might ask yourself, like, why do you hook a boost to an expression pedal? And so the Vertex Boost is very interesting in that. So watch the little lights. Gotta turn off the. So the Vertex acts like a volume pedal with an insert from the expression pedal. Well, I couldn't get that out.
But they wrote it right on here for you. Volume expression.
So
volume expression.
Why? So this is the only expression pedal I use on the board that, like, I pulled this off. It's the first time it's ever been on the channel, but I've had it forever. So instead of having a volume pedal, I have an expression pedal, and I plug it into that. If I ever really wanted to use my expression pedal somewhere else, I could pull that cable and plug it into something else. But typically, it lives in that. And so why? Because I love to play with a volume knob, and I do that with the Barber Electronics direct drive. So if I'm playing the direct drive and then I roll my volume back, it cleans up like... Which is nice until we do something that calls for a lot of drive. So then by having the volume pedal after the boost, or the volume pedal after the direct drive,
so you keep all the gain
right
through the whole process.
So it's like by doing that, I get a volume pedal or volume knob essentially before the drive and after the drive. So I can, like you said, you can keep the drive or lose it, whatever. So that's really good. That's how I use that. If we go to the Gulf Chorus, and so I'm just going to hit this button right here so you can see that we're on C. I'm going to hit this button. We're going to jump to B now. That's the Gulf Chorus. And Pat checks it out. And then real quick, doing that. We're going to jump over to the Tremolo, which we have an A. So if that is all the Expressionator did, I think it'd be a pretty useful pedal. Because it would let you control 3 different things and jump through them. It does a lot more, I think. So let's talk about some of the other things it does. Like if I go over to C again, this is our volume pedal. And Pat, why don't you roll it down to like about 2? So we have it down to 2. We're going to leave it there. We're going to jump back over to the Tremolo pedal. And so now you have it in tow. You're on the Tremolo.
Right.
Our volume's still at half. If I go back to, and be careful not to move it right at first here. If I go back to C, it remembered where you left off. And it will stay there, but once you move your foot, now it...
Sorry, I keep knowing where you're talking.
Yeah, now it catches it, right? So it remembers where you leave off. So we have... Your Tremolo is probably still going fast,
it is.
Right?
Yep.
So your Tremolo is still going fast. So it remembers that the Tremolo is there. Push your thing down the heel.
Right. Heel?
Toe. Before I switch back over. So it remembered it was there. So again, I think this is a nice added feature because you don't, when you go back, it's not like going to change based on where it is now. Mm-hmm. It's going to stay where it was until you move it. That's really great. That's not it. You can do things together. So we could say, well, maybe we want the volume pedal to always be on, and we just hit that on button. So now that's always on.
And is it on? So do we need to go back and set it at full first? Mm-mm. Is it on where we left it? Like it's... So it's on with this in the heel. But if I go all the way forward... Okay.
So right now, as you go forward, your tremolo is speeding up.
Yeah, because it's still on.
Right? So, if you start in the heel, you should have no volume, real slow tremolo. Right, if you go up slowly, it should...
Yeah.
So the louder it gets, the faster it's going to get too. So that's another kind of nice, interesting feature. And then you have...
Which seems to be like characters from the Chinese alphabet that we're on.
Right. So we have these different things. So right now we're in this regular taper, right? You'll notice then we can go down through a whole bunch of other ones. The second one's a reverse taper. The third one is to kind of level out volume swells. If you take it might actually be better for the boost that we're using right now. So they say specifically if you're using like a volume pedal that has a expression pedal insert in it, it's good for that. Then the last two, the triangle and the square, and I'm not sure we have a good one to show those on, but we're going to come back to this pedal.
Yeah.
We have some ideas to come back in some other episodes just to show you some creative ways to use it. So we'll come back to that. But what they do is basically a triangle wave or a square wave, and I think it said it happens 8 times a cycle. So between heel and toe, it's going to go through a square waveform 8 times. We need to find something that...
And you can see the lights flash. Like as it's going up, they flash, they pulse.
Right. And then... So just... Now you have to start thinking about this in terms of creativity. So we're right now on B. We're on the Gulf Chorus. I'm going to actually hit that little set button, go from the regular ramp to the reverse ramp. So now it speeds up on heel and goes slower on toe. This is great.
Moment, please.
You need to go up the toe.
Right. Okay.
All right. All right. So why is that fun? Well, that's fun if I click on the tremolo pedal. Right? So now the tremolo at toe is going fast and the chorus is going slow. At heel, the tremolo is going slow and the chorus is going fast.
So I'm going to start at heel for fun just because that seems natural to me, but... It really messes with your mind because you using a volume pedal, you know what's off and what's on. And so when you go back, you're expecting it to go off, but all it does is speed up the pedal that you have set for heel to be the fast rate.
Right.
It's interesting. And we have it set at a dramatic speed so that you can hear that.
Right.
But if you set it probably at some different speed, you could get some real creative swirling between the two pedals.
And even just listening when you were doing that, I was having trouble almost...
telling which was which.
Right.
But you could hear when they intersected. It was really cool. And then they went real dramatic. But that spot in the middle where they were both kind of at like what I would say would be a practical speed.
What if you put it kind of in the middle?
Like right now?
Yeah, get it kind of in the more practical and play something kind of normal for a second and then maybe kind of veer either way.
It reminds me of the Leslie pedals, right? Because you get that ramp and you get that real pulsing. But yeah,
especially if you would do them both in the same direction. I think when you mix a chorus and a tremolo together, you're starting to really kind of emulate some of that stuff that you would get,
right?
Or trying to emulate some of that stuff you'd get in a Leslie or whatever. Fast chorus can sound like a Leslie by itself,
right?
But I think sometimes if you get the right kind of wave of the tremolo behind it, it really gives you that feeling. Wow. So the Expressionator,
right?
Control 3 different expression pedals. You can control them all independently by bumping the switch to move through them. You can turn them all on, so we could do all 3 at one time. Right? So we could have them so they're all on at the same time. You're controlling all 3. You can have them going the normal way. You can do like a reverse wave, so heel toe, that kind of reverses. You have some options then too here with your... So, I mean, small, doesn't take up a lot of room. One expression. So literally with the setup I have now, the expression pedal I have now in this volume pedal, I could add one of those and control the Nemesis delay. And control, I'm trying to think what else is on there with the expression pedal, probably the tremolo pedal, right off the bat.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Not a lot of real estate. Now, we're using all insert cables, though, right? Like, that's what you would use. So,
yeah, they're all TRS cables.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just some additional cabling,
right.
Which you would have to do anyway. But just to say you could use just that for all 3.
Yeah. And like we're using these right now today, these kind of hefty rattlesnake cables, just because for here, we need here unplugging, moving, changing stuff a lot. We wanted some really kind of thick and some high quality cables. And I'll tell you what, everything that we've gotten from Rattlesnake is killer quality wise. So, did we miss anything?
You saw some of the questions I asked. Yes, we probably did, but that's me. No, I think there's just so much. There's been other things that we've explored that, like, as creatively as you can think, this could probably deliver it, right? Very much out of the box applications, very practical applications, simple, complicated, like however you want to make it.
Well, yeah. Well, then you started thinking, well, what if you hook your delay and your reverb up to it? And if you're one of those guys that's like into ambient swells, like if you're into the ambient stuff, you can have your expression pedal hooked up to this and controlling 2 delays and a reverb or something. An envelope filter, you name it. Right. Leslie, tremolo, and what I say, envelope filters. Probably some of the octave pedals. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the octave pedals would do that. Actually, I think they said the last 2, the square and the triangle wave, work really good with like an octave or a whammy pedal or something like that. So, we just wanted to do the video to get you thinking. So, and we're going to be thinking about it too. We're going to come back with it. So anyway, we always like to take a minute and pause and just say thank you for watching. Thanks to everybody that subscribed. Click the notification button. Hitting like, leaving comments down below. In the comments, like how would you use it? Like what ideas are like kind of flowing through your mind while we're talking about it here? Stop out to Instagram and Facebook. And I think with that,
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear. And now you can control a lot of that gear.
So
who knows? Here we go. What's gonna happen? That last part is very Leslie-like. Dearly beloved.